I check social media throughout the day, but if I had to put a number on it, it would probably honestly be like close to 20 times maybe.
5 or 6 times.
Over 10 times a day.
5.
Liar!
10, 5, 8.
Liar!
As it 8.
2 to 3 times a day.
5 times a day.
20 to 30 times a day.
About 15 or more times a day.
About 10.
Honestly, countless. Maybe like 3 times every 15 minutes, so if you did the math.
2 or 3 times.
10 or under?
15 times.
10.
Probably 5 or 6 times a day.
Constantly. I feel like sometimes I'm like unconsciously like opening it, but I would say like every 5 to 10 minutes. I use Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and BuzzFeed.
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Snapchat.
Facebook.
Instagram.
Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook.
My favorite form of social media is Instagram because I can just mindlessly scroll and like things, and I get inspiration for different things in my life that I want to emulate, and I don't actually have to talk to people.
Twitter, because it keeps me up to date on what's happening in the world.
I like Facebook because I can keep in touch with my friends and family.
Snapchat because I really like posting stories.
I use Facebook the most, just like talking to my friends and stuff.
Snapchat is my favorite. It's quick, easy to check. You're up to date on what people are doing at a particular moment in time.
Instagram because I love photography and I love to travel and take photos of the places I've been to.
Might be Snapchat, just because it's silly and fun and quick, and you can sort of follow what people are doing and what people think are interesting.
$50, $60?
Probably like 75%.
Like 50%, I would say. Maybe 40.
Probably next to 0. Because it's like I don't really know them and their opinion matters very little to me, so I don't feel a need to have to cater to them, to what they want.
I like to get likes, but I would not refrain from posting if I did not think that I wasn't going to get likes. So, a low percentage.
60%.
Like 85%.
60%.
Probably 75%.
I'd say maybe 70%.
Usually like almost everything, basically.
If it's about something that's like going on in their lives, it's good. Or like they're experiencing something, or else there's like a picture of them with friends that I know, I like it.
When I see something that's like unique or different,
Appeals to my particular interests.
If it's just something that I like, if it makes me smile, if it makes me laugh.
Either really interesting, really funny, or like they have a really pretty picture and it's someone I like, then I will like their post or photograph.
Unique, clear picture, or funny.
I feel like I tag my friends a lot in like cute puppy videos and stuff, or like food. Food is another one.
If it's like relatable to them.
Usually either funny or important.
Because I automatically think of that person when I see an article or a video, for example, and I want them, and I know that they'll enjoy it and they can also relate to it as well.
Is if it applies to them, or if it's just really funny and makes no sense, or if it's like an inside joke.
Someone as if it reminds me of memories we've shared together, or something about their personality, or if I know it will make them laugh.
I'll share a post or tag someone when I think that it is something they'll think is funny or directly pertains to them, or an inside joke.
On Snapchat, I really only post things that I think are funny. Just like average, everyday situations that I find hilarious for whatever reason. On Instagram, I post pictures that I look good in. Or of, you know, like people that I love in important times in their lives or whatever. Facebook, I will post all of that same stuff as well as, you know, like political things, you know, things that I think my friend should be notified about or, you know, should be brought to their attention.
Just photos of myself and my family.
Things that I think people will like.
Something like funny to a friend or stuff for organizing, like groups of people.
I think social media is, like I said earlier, a great source of inspiration. It can really get you like off your feet. You can learn a lot from it. I think that's the most important thing, is learning how to like better yourself through, you know, others' accomplishments.
Lets you connect with people who aren't physically there all the time. You can stay in contact pretty much constantly, which I like.
It brings the world close together. You have more contact with people that you wouldn't normally.
You can connect with people faster.
Keeping in touch with people, I guess. And I use BuzzFeed a lot, and I read the news a lot there. And I feel like if I didn't go on BuzzFeed, I'd just not read the news at all.
You know, if your friends go on trips, you get to kind of experience part of that with them through the pictures that they post and share.
You get to stay in contact with a lot of people and see what people are doing. It's a good way to pass the time.
It keeps us all connected in various ways, and it gives us insight into other people's ideas of what's important and what's worth sharing.
I just feel like people, including myself, we spend way too much time on social media when we can be like communicating with other people. Like you'd see at restaurants and stuff, people just sitting there on their phones. And I think that's a little sad.
It can make a lot of very impersonal relationships between people in some sense, because like body language is a really important thing when you're communicating with people, because it allows you to really know what they mean and not just what they say. So like a lot of what they're conveying over the internet is very surface level versus like deep and what really matters in certain situations.
Some cons of social media, I think we can become too reliant on it and get too engrossed in you know, what's on our phones rather than the people that we're hanging out with. I think a lot of people kind of take it to the extreme and will take pictures of ridiculous stuff just for the sake of posting it later and getting likes and all that. I think it also can create, you know, this mentality where we think that everyone's so much better off than we are because, you know, of what they post online, and you have to just, I guess, be cognizant of the fact that people are only posting the good things about their life and they're really not going to share all the bad things. So I think it can kind of disillusion some people about what other people's lives and famous people's lives actually look like. In the same vein, it could waste too much time. Maybe he really doesn't know.
I think people are losing the ability to communicate with one another on a personal level.
I mean, people space out when they're in the same room with each other and makes it, I don't know, people farther apart, I guess, in that way.
You can spend too much time on social media.
I think that it sometimes portrays people in unwanted ways, obviously. It makes certain events public, or I think it can show mistakes or things that are normally not, that can be detrimental to your future potentially.
Cons or negative effects is that it has people buried in their phones and manipulating their experiences to suit their Instagram or Snapchat or whatever.